Hi, I'm Sarah Chu, and I'm currently a second-year master's candidate at Michigan State University studying under Dr. Aaron Burns in the field of weed science. Currently, I'm standing in my interseeded field of corn and alfalfa, which is a very unique system and also a very beneficial system. This is because the corn silage can be substituted as a source of feed during that first establishment year that is very common in alfalfa fields. Secondly, there's an increase in the duration of living plant cover throughout the whole entire year, which therefore decreases the amount of soil erosion that could occur on the field. Also, the alfalfa can contribute nitrogen credits to subsequent crops in the rotation, which therefore will help increase yield overall. Because this system is interseeded, there is a competition for resources, specifically light, water, and nutrients. We were able to modify light in this system by choosing between two different corn hybrids, an upright one or a pendulum one. An upright one means it has a smaller leaf angle, therefore allowing more light to penetrate into that lower canopy of alfalfa and possibly weeds. A pendulum one means it has a wider leaf angle, therefore allowing less light to penetrate to that lower canopy. This modification of light has allowed us to theorize that there will be a difference in the critical period of weed control in this system. The critical period of weed control is that window or time that you have to spray, or it would be most beneficial to spray an herbicide to decrease the impact of weeds on your yield. We were able to find that in this system by using a surrogate weed or fake weed known as Japanese millet, by adding it or removing it with glyphosate at specific timings. Then, once it's time for corn silage to be harvested, we will look at the yield between these different timings and determine that window and that specific time where it would be most beneficial to spray an herbicide to decrease the impact of the weeds on your yield. But this is not a single crop system, so we also have to take into consideration the alfalfa from the second year. Here we have the preliminary results from the first year, which help identify the critical period of weed control. On the x-axis, you have the growing degree days, and on the y-axis, you have the corn yield as a percentage of weed-free. There are two hybrids on this graph, the upright, which is the smaller leaf angle, and the pendulum, which is the wider leaf angle. We were able to identify the critical period of weed removal as the location where the two lines decrease, which is a 5% acceptable yield loss. This timing occurred between 608 to 802 growing degree days, which was between July 7th and July 16th in 2019. Like I said earlier, alfalfa is an extremely important component of this study. And as you can see, we established a very good alfalfa stand from our previous year's study. Currently, we are still taking measurements and data on this alfalfa stand, and it's coming up to its third cutting. But the results from the first alfalfa cutting are in. This is the results of the alfalfa from the first cutting in 2020. On the y-axis, there's the yield in tons per acre. On the x-axis, there are 4 different treatments that were present in the corn silage year, but not present in the alfalfa year. The gray or first box is weed-free for the whole duration of the corn year. The second box is weedy for the whole duration of that corn year. The third box is a weedy treatment up to 6 weeks after planting in that corn year or that first year. The fourth box is weedy up to 8 weeks after planting, once again in that first year. There was an effect on the alfalfa yield, even though the weeds were only present in the establishment year or the year with corn. The highest yield was from the weed-free. The lowest yield was from the plots that experienced weedy conditions the longest. This aligns with the previous corn year data that suggests that weed removal should occur between 608 and 802 growing degree days. This shows that weed control is important in that specific window in the first year to have a healthy stand in the second year of alfalfa. As this is the second year of my study, we are still collecting data on it. and eventually the yield. And we look forward to being able to share that data with you eventually. Thank you for listening.